您的企业有好的规划吗？ASQ Consulting Group 拥有超过38年的专业团队，无论在商家企业的创造、成长，乃至进入腾飞级、沉稳发展的每一个阶段，都带着共同一致的前瞻性理念及专业所长，致力于提供以客为本的专业企业咨询服务。以站式服务为客户带来便利，在充满挑战以及要求快速达标的环境中，提高服务性价比成效。客户是最终受益者，享受多元综合的一站式咨询服务。ASQ Consulting Group 协助超过1000家工厂在马来西亚设立，是 Alineo Global 的成员之一。Alineo Global 目前是世界第2大的会计联盟，在86个国家或地区设立了超过600个会计事务所，能为客户提供不同国家或地区的投资咨询和市场知识，协助投资者扩展业务。而今，随着 Ecovis 的加入， ASQ Consulting Group 也能在企业上市的筹划上提供优质的咨询服务。我们15位股东与董事，加上230位职员，期待为您的企业尽一份力。
所以线上有人就问到，什么是 deferred annuity？ 来，这个英文字很轻，大家请告诉我们大家什么是 deferred annuity， 什么 example、sample 这样。
璞玉，你要答这个吗
？OK， 据我自己所了解到，这个 deferred annuity 呢，就是保险公司里头，他们不是有不同的一些 insurance package 嘛，可能有包括 life insurance 或者 medical insurance 之类的。然后这个 deferred annuity 呢，是他们的其中一种insurance 的一个package 啦，就是
对，是，对，所以希望可以回答到 LC 天的这个问题哈。所以 back to 刚刚我说的，就是你要跟你的insurance agent 去 check， 因为很多时候你把这个钱放在那里，你不懂你在还什么，然后有时 tax 太多东西了，有空你不懂，然后 tax 更新的时候，当他们更新被 gazette 的时候呢，你就可能 miss 掉那个 chance。OK， 所以大家要去注意这块。那 for 这一块这个 deferred annuity， 两位这一个税务经理有什么要补充的吗
？OK， 因为一般上呢，这个 insurance statement 那边会写到说，到底你的 type of insurance 是哪一 type， 到底刚才所说的是 medical 呢、life 呢，还是 deferred annuity 或者 PRS 的话，它都会写到很清晰，在它的 insurance statement 那边。
是。所以大家拿 statement 不是拿来放在 file 里面的，就要看一看 ，OK。
您的企业有好的规划吗？ASQ Consulting Group 拥有超过38年的专业团队，无论在商家企业的创造、成长，乃至进入腾飞级、沉稳发展的每一个阶段，都带着共同一致的前瞻性理念及专业所长，致力于提供以客为本的专业企业咨询服务。以站式服务为客户带来便利，在充满挑战以及要求快速达标的环境中，提高服务性价比成效。客户是最终受益者，享受多元综合的一站式咨询服务。ASQ Consulting Group 协助超过1000家工厂在马来西亚设立，是 Alineo Global 的成员之一。Alineo Global 目前是世界第2大的会计联盟，在86个国家或地区设立了超过600个会计事务所，能为客户提供不同国家或地区的投资咨询和市场知识，协助投资者扩展业务。而今，随着 Ecovis 的加入， ASQ Consulting Group 也能在企业上市的筹划上提供优质的咨询服务。我们15位股东与董事，加上230位职员，期待为您的企业尽一份力。
是我在想，因为很多时候 他们讲哦，好像因为苹果在 KL 嘛，对，在我们 KL 的 branch，那在 JB 哦，很多 Johorian 啦，哦，很多 Johorian 在新加坡，在新加坡已经有2年了，他们，然后他们在新加坡很久了，因为 MCO，那很多孩子都会，就像我同辈的这些朋友，他们都会给家用，那他们不可能寄 ，I mean 有可能啦吧，我觉得不会有人这样子做啦，可能放在 envelope 里面寄回家这样没有人知道嘛。通常都是转钱回来马来西亚，那这个东西就变成这些在他们讲很难听啦，
转账是吗？你是说
他们转账转回来，
那你可以看到名字了的不？
对，所以很多会这样子，那这是很多。他们很喜欢用这个什么马劳的心声，你懂吗？我在那边已经省吃省用，又要租屋子，然后在那边租一个小房间，我们可以买一个大屋子。然后等一下，我现在要给我要给父母这些家用啊、补贴啊，就是一个感恩的一个家用我还要中 tax， 这样我怎么办？你呢？就很多人会这样子想，所以这块大家这块其实还没有被给在，就是还没有被批。他们只是所以你看在这个这边是 propose 建议还没有被批，对，但是被批过后别担心，我们又在请天官跟不会跟你讲要怎么办 ，OK，我们可以做什么 ，OK。
刚才我讲的4样现在还有第5样的 grey area，so 既然政府说外国的 income 你汇回来马来西亚你要抽我税，对不对？那么我在外国赚取那一笔钱，当初我所花费的费用，可不可以扣税呢？对不对？以公平的角度来讲，应该可以扣税的。你 get 到我在外国 perform 一个 project 也好，还是我在外国 carry on trading or employment 也好，我一定有一个成本的嘛，对不对？所以难道那成本我不能扣出来吗？Let's say 我扣了成本，我那一个项目是 lost 的，怎么办？我 lost， 当然我可以拿回一些钱啊，但是 overall project 是 lost 的，我把钱汇回来，你又来抽我。看来我是重量是3的，冲向了，对，
所以线上有人问到这个问题，人在马来西亚，然后 employer 在新加坡 ，source of income 是 Singapore。
以这个问题来看呢，表面上不是，因为employment employer 这 LC10 它是打工一族吧？如果是打工一族我们是看在它的 service perform 在哪里。如果是 perform in Malaysia，它会 deem as a source derived from Malaysia。
OK，source derived from Malaysia。Yeah. 好，希望我回答到 LC 的这个问题那 Melody 说，如果把外国银行储蓄转回马来西亚，会被抽吗？还是这样问？
对呀，所以这个就是刚才我们所讲的一些 grey area 了。
对，
如果以目前的 proposal 来看是会。以目前的 proposal 来看，对不对？因为他讲到很direct嘛，你的 foreign source transfer back to Malaysia， then it was subject to tax。But 在你还没有 tax 之前呢，你要考虑到我刚才所讲的那些 grey area。Capital gain。Losses, expenses incurred in relation to the income。储蓄算不算 income 呢？No，储蓄不是 income， 储蓄是储蓄嘛。Income 是 when you perform something， alright， when you perform something to gain something， 那个才是 income。所以首先你要 fulfill 那个 income definition。储蓄I'm not sure 啦，所以要看那个 Gazetted Order， 它的范围是 cover 到几款。
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our Facebook Live where we all learn together. It's been a long time since you have shared in English. Yep. So welcome back to ASQ Facebook Live. And if you are first time, your first time here, ASQ is actually a one-stop professional service provider where we provide a series of service from the incorporation of the company to if your company wants to go up to IPO. So in the middle where you have your secretarial, you have your accounts, you have your audit, if you have tax, we do provide all the services. So if you do need if you have any concerns regarding your company structure, you can also connect with us. Okay, drop us a PM, a message at our Facebook, or you can actually drop us a WhatsApp at 017681128. Okay, come and connect with us. We are also a member firm of Alina Global. So if in any case, if you are considering to actually look outside of Malaysia to expand your business, you can also connect with us because we have across 98 countries and 700 member firms to assist you. Yep. So this evening on this chilly weather in JB, okay, last week we talked about personal tax, and today we're going to look more from the corporate perspective. And this evening we have the honor to actually invite two of our senior tax partner and one of our manager who are both in KL. Okay, we do have a branch in KL besides JB in KL to come and share with us different insights from this corporate tax. Okay, which is under tax budget 2022. So first of all, we will invite Mr. Lu Chu Hong. Okay, he's one of our tax director. Okay, he will share with you. And also, if you joined us last week for the Mandarin session, you should be familiar with Low Kin Guan, which is also one of our tax manager. Okay, so Kin Guan, is it possible if your screen, can you try to switch it? Yeah, it's like vertical. Yep. Okay, that's good. Okay, without further ado, squeaky sounds. It's fine. Yep. Without further ado, let's invite both of them to share with you. And if you do have any questions, please do not feel shy. Drop us at the chat box below, and we will attend to your question during our Q&A session. Okay. So pass the time to you, Mr. Lu and Kin Guan.
Okay. Thank you, Dorothy, for the introduction. Okay. Today we will go through the company. All right. The updates for the company budget 2020. All right. So we'll cover 10 topics here today. So the first one, we will discuss on the prosperity tax or Cukai Makmur. Okay. So Cukai Makmur here, basically they tax on the non-SME, all right, for the chargeable income exceed 100 million. Okay, exceed 100 million. So the tax rate for the balance of chargeable income exceed 100 million will be 33%. Okay, for the first 100 million, that will be 24%. So those exceed 100 million, it will be taxed at 33%. Okay. Mr. Lu, is there any comment for this part?
Okay. What may I ask? What do you mean by other than above categories? Is that is that mean other than Sdn Bhd? And then how about the trust company, PLT, and etc.?
Okay. So if you look at the proposal, right, the wording they worded is like the company that is other than the above category. So the above category here is they are referring to the SME category. All right, SME category. So through looking at the whole proposal, they did not cover for LLP yet. So we do not know the final result, whether will the LLP fall into this category or not. So, but at the moment, looking at the proposal, it is applied only for the company or company level, not LLP, not business trust at the moment. We have to wait for the gazette order to clarify for this area.
Yeah, sure. So based on the newspaper, this Cukai Makmur will affect about 40% of the PLC. Means about 40% of our public listed company in Malaysia having a
right?
more than 100 millions.
All
right. So can you please proceed to the next topic?
Okay. So the next one will cover the unabsorbed losses. So during the budget 2019, there is a new limitation, 7 years, apply for the unabsorbed loss to be carried forward. Last time it used to be unlimited until the unabsorbed loss are fully utilized, right? So effective from 19, the carry forward time limit is only 7 years. So now this year, budget 2022, the new limitation time limit to be carried forward is 10 years. 10 years. And the effective rate, no, the effective date is 2019. So meaning the loss that you carried out from the 2019, you can carry up to 2029.
All right.
Okay.
So the cutoff year actually commenced from YA 2018. So for those total unabsorbed losses for YA 2018 and before will be considered as the opening balance for YA 2019. So the maximum year of carry forward will be extended until 2028, meaning that after 202 at the year of 2029, all these unabsorbed losses will be disregarded. So for YA 2019 losses, this will be extended until 2029, as per King Wan said. Okay. So, but one condition you have to be careful is if there are changes in substantial shareholders and the company is dormant, then these unabsorbed losses will be surrendered. Over
Yes,
to you,
correct.
King Wan.
Yes, correct. So the dormant company here is referring to the company which do not have income at all, but they only have those statutory expenses like accounting fee, audit fee, tax agent fee, secretary fee. Those are the category of dormant company. If you change your shareholding more than 50%, then your this unabsorbed versus loss will be disregarded. Okay, the next topic we're going to discuss here is the rental deduction, the further tax deduction for the rental discount you offer to your tenant. All right. This one is the incentive that introduced during the MCO period. So the government trying to help out the SME, to help them to sustain. So by giving this rental incentive to the landlord. Okay. Just one thing, this rental tax deduction for the rental discount is offered to the landlord, not the tenant. So basically means that you have to offer 30% of your rental discount in order to get the same amount, okay, of the discount you given to the tenant as the rental further deduction. So it is like a double deduction. If I give 3,000 a rental discount, then I can claim tax 3,000 plus 3,000. Okay, the 3,000 is the discount that you're given to your tenant, and the extra 3,000 is the further tax deduction for you, okay, for the landlord. And okay, the proposal here that is that they further extend. They supposed to this incentive supposed to expire by June 20. No, by end of this year. Then they further extend it. Let me see, to December. Yeah, they
So
extend it.
it's-
Yeah,
he
okay.
proposed to extend for another year.
Yes, correct. And for the extension during this year, there is no SME corporation cert needed because this one is open up for SME and non-SME already.
Right.
Okay, now Mr. Lu, anything you want to add on for this?
So actually, this is a very good news, but we have to be careful of. No doubt that we are having a double tax deduction, so-called or special deductions, but end of the day, we still lose out part of our rental. So we have to actually balance. We have to consider it. The best is we're still able to collect the full rental instead of providing discount unless the tenant is really impacted by the MCO. Okay, so this is my comment. Over to you, King Wan.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lu. Now the next topic is the tax incentive for the internship program. Okay, so this internship program has been started since YA 2012. So they've been extending till the latest is 2021. So now for this year budget, they propose to expand the scope to cover for master degree and also professional certificate, and as well as the SKM level 1 and 2. So SKM here is referring to the Sisio Kemahiran, what is the full name here? SKM. Yeah, the SKM, they have total 5 level here. All right, so the level 1 and 2 is the lowest one. Level 5 has been covered since the those previous budget now. Okay, so now they expand it to cover level 1 and 2 also. Level 1 is more on a routine job, and then level 2 is the non-routine one. They require a certain professional skill to carry out. Usually is unpredictable one. Okay, for level 2. So now the internship program here is cover including the 500, okay, for each student, monthly 500, and then also the training expenditure, meal and traveling accommodation. Okay, the training expenditure and living expenditure is limited to 5,000 per student. Okay, so this incentive is allowed the company who participate in this internship program to have a double deduction on this kind of cost. So the cost here, as I mentioned, is the 500 allowance, training expenditure, all right, and also the meal and traveling accommodation. There is so-called the living expenditure for the student. Okay.
Okay. So I have a question. What do we need to do if company intends to implement this structured internship program? Do we need to apply to Talent Corp Malaysia Berhad?
Yes, correct. Have to apply to Talent Corp.
Okay. So I have another question. How about the double tax deductions on qualified expenditure means the 500 allowance provided to the intern? Does it mean we are able to deduct tax at 1,000? So what
Yes.
if the intern halfway resign within the stipulated 10 weeks, which is out of our control?
Okay, for this situation, right? If you say the staff is resigned, okay. By the way, to qualify for this structured internship program, the internship program must be carried out for at least 10 weeks. So let's say the student, before they complete the 10 weeks program, they resign or either discontinue the program. So by right, this double deduction for the company is not qualified. All right, it's not qualified. So one of the conditions is that the student must complete the 10 years program in order for the company to qualify. What if the student is halfway discontinue? Then the company, by the time they file the Form C, they will already know they are not qualified for this double deduction. So they shouldn't claim the double deduction there.
All right.
So, Mr. Lu, any more comment for this part?
No comment for this anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one will be the scholarship. So the scholarship here, they further expand the scope also to cover for the master and doctor level. And then also they extend for another 4 years up to 2025. Okay. Basically, this cover for the Malaysian citizen who pursue the full-time studies, okay, and their household income is not more than 10,000 per month. So for company who participate in this scholarship incentive, it is advised for the company to get the the supporting document from the student, like the every semester they have their transcript, so to prove that their course progress.
Okay. This is a very good CSR, or so-called corporate social responsibility program for the company and also for the society.
Okay.
All right. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The next one we can go for. I can take a look on this tax incentive for the non-resident individual. So basically, this incentive is allow the non-resident individual to be taxed on their income at the flat rate of 15%. Okay, 15%. Now, this one is referring to the non-resident individual who the company relocate to Malaysia, relocate their manufacturing operations in Malaysia. All right. So those are the category of non-residents that the employee is a C-suite position. So there's a few terms and conditions in order for the non-resident to qualify under this tax incentive. Okay, that's meant to be taxed at a flat rate of 15%. So one of the there are few conditions is that their annual salary cannot be less than 25,000. All right. So they being a Malaysian tax resident for each YA throughout the 5 YAs. By the way, this 15,000 flat rate is applied for 5 consecutive YAs. Yeah? So during these 5 YAs, they must be a tax resident in Malaysia, meaning they have to stay in Malaysia for 182 days, okay, in order to become a Malaysia tax resident. Then in order to qualify for this 15% flat tax rate.
Okay. So I have a question. So what is the procedure? Do we need to apply to MIDA prior to our relocations?
Oh, yes, yes.
Or we have to set up our new entity in Malaysia and apply through this new entity or this company?
No, okay, to qualify for this incentive, first the company who choose to relocate their manufacturing activities in Malaysia, they must get the MIDA approval first. All right, before this the flat rate can be qualified. So they can set up an entity in Malaysia as a subsidiary. Okay, then they can apply to MIDA. So once MIDA approved, then they can shift their operation line back to Malaysia to the subsidiary entity.
All right.
Okay, then the next one, it will be a tax rebate. Yeah. The tax rebate for the new entities set up in Malaysia here. So, okay, this rebate is already introduced during the MCO period. Okay, so basically it allows a new entity who set up in Malaysia, and then they commence operation during July and up to end of this year to be qualified for this tax rebate. So the tax rebate here is referring to the capital expenditure or operating expenditure up to the amount of 20,000. So this tax rebate, okay, is like an individual tax rebate. It is knocked off against your tax amount, okay, not the chargeable income here. It's knocked off against your tax amount. This means after you times the tax rate, then you minus further the tax rebate. So one thing about this tax rebate is that they cannot carry forward. And then if your tax rebate is exceed your tax payable, you don't get a refund also. By the way, there is a few the conditions to fulfill before you claim this tax rebate. So one thing is that it's only applied to the SME. Okay, so SME here means that the share capital at the beginning of the basis period is less than is 2.5 million or less. No? And also during the year, their annual turnover should not more than 50 million. Okay, and then also this is also not applied to the entity like partnership or the company that convert to the LLP. Okay, so this is purely for a new setup company. Okay, if your conversion is not qualified. Okay, so for this year budget, okay, this incentive, right, this rebate is supposed to be expired by this 31st December 2021. So now it further extend to up to next year end.
So I have a question. For item number 3, what does it mean by capital expenditure or operating expenditure incurred? Does it mean by if we have incurred capital expenditure or operating expenditure of 20,000, even though without any income or sales during the first year of operations? For example, we have incurred rental and salary.
Yeah, that is correct. So the operating expenses here is referring to like your salary, your rental expense, your purchase, right? Those kind of expenses that appear in your profit and loss account. And capital expenditure is referring to the capital you bought, like the plant machinery. All right. What else? You can think of the
This
those
equipment,
PPE item lah, plant,
plant,
yeah, those PPE item lah.
property,
So
plant
this,
equipment.
yes, correct. So these two category, when you combine the capital expenditure and operating expenditure, that is amount that you can claim as a rebate, but up to the maximum of 20,000.
Right. So I have another question. What if the company turnover exceeded 50 million in the second year, which no longer qualify as SME?
Okay. Now this rebate is applied for 3 consecutive year of assessment. Okay. Say the year 1 you qualified. So let's say year 2 you're disqualified. Okay, disqualified in the sense that maybe you are no longer SME status. So maybe in year 2 you managed to achieve your sales for 50 million. Then you are no longer classified as an SME status. So meaning that in the second year, you are not qualified anymore. So when you're not qualified, then from second year and third year, you will no longer be entitled for this rebate. For the first year, during the time when you are still entitled, that will be remain.
Okay. It means it's, there's no clawback.
No, there's no clawback here. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, then we can go for the next one as additional reinvestment allowance. Okay, so this reinvestment allowance, last time in the budget for the year 2016 and 2018, they first time announced a special RA. Okay, this special RA is for those company that already exhaust the 15 years, the original RA. Okay, then they can continue for another 3 years extra. So, the original RA, right, they can last for 15 years. So after 15 years expire, they can claim another 3 year extra, that is a 16 to 18. Then after that, during the Penjana, they further reintroduce this special RA for 2020 up to 2022. Okay, and then they further extend now in the budget 2022, they further extend up to 2023. Okay.
Okay. So I think the further extensions is basically due to a company might not be able to meet the expected profit, especially during year 2020 and 2021 due to the MCO. Okay.
Yeah. Just to add on something, this what you call that, the unabsorbed reinvestment allowance, if there is any, they were subject to the 7 years limitation to carry forward. Okay, so Mr. Lu, is any more thing you want to mention about this RA?
No.
No, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, the next one, it will be a tax incentive for renovation and refurbishment. Okay, this renovation and refurbishment basically is allow the company to claim up to 300,000 for renovation work done at their business premise. So, this 300,000 incentive is supposed to cover the period from 1st March 2020 up to the end of this year, or 2021 December. So now it is proposed to further extend up to 2022.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we try not to be confused by perceive that we are able to claim 2 times, means 300,000 in one YA and the following 200,000 in the next YA. On top of it, the period is covered more than 1 year. So one condition to need to fulfill is the renovation works after completed must be certified by an external auditors and restricted to as follow. For example, general electrical installations, lighting, gas system, water system, kitchen fittings, sanitary fittings, door, gates, window, grill, and roller shutter, fixed partitions, flooring, including carpet, wall covering, including paintwork, false ceilings and cornice, ornamental features or decorations, excluding fine art, canopies or awning, fittings room or changing room, requisitions rooms for employee, air conditioning system, children play area, receptionist areas, and surrounds are included. Other than this, you will not be qualified to claim under this refurbishment cost.
Correct,
Alright.
correct. So those items that is excluded from this renovation cost, it will be like design fee, purchase of antiques, or those cannot lah. And just to add on something, this 300,000 claim for the renovation and refurbishment, right, is apply not every year, huh? So here the 300,000 is not means that every year you can claim 300,000. This 300,000 is covered throughout the period. Okay, so the period here is the latest period here now is 1st March 2020 up to 31st December 2022. So during this period, the total renovation claim can only up to 300,000. Let's say in year one, I mean in year 2020, you've already claimed 150,000. So you left another balance 150 for the next 2 years. No? Okay, the next slide. Mr. Lu, you're okay, right? So far?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, the next one will be SAF at work. So SAF at work basically means that it is a further tax deduction for the rental you incurred for the accommodation for employees, for them to work at the rented place, which is not in this one. Initially, they proposed is to target for those employees who have been detected COVID-19 positive. So the SAF at work here, the idea is that let them separate from the healthy employees, all right, so that they can continue perform their job at one place. Okay, so that place is you have the rent, right? So you rent a place for the infected employees to continue perform their job there. So that is the idea of SAF at work. So the rental you pay for the accommodation is entitled for the double deduction up to the limit of 50,000 per company. This one is applied throughout the 1st January 2021 until end of the year 2021. So now it is proposed to extend one more year up to the end of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Lu, you want to add on something for this?
I would like to comment something. So it's only applied to company in manufacturing and its related services sector. This is not compulsory for all manufacturing company, but is on a voluntary basis. So this is I would like to emphasize. So upon registration, the company would be audited for compliance to SOP. Companies that pass the audit would qualify for Safe at Work. So a federal task force for Safe at Work is established under MITI. So this is actually governed by under our MITI. So which is responsible in undertaking the audit and certifying companies under Safe at Work. So means the governance and application will through MITI under the Safe at Work, right?
Yes, correct. So in order to qualify for this incentive, right, the taxpayer will have to register themselves in the COVID-19 intelligence management system. All right, this system is already open since 1st April 2021. So once registered, then the MITI will do the verification. So once they pass the verification, then there is a certificate issue for them.
Okay, I think this is the end of this is the last of our slide. So can we open up for Q&A?
Yes.
Hold on. Let me just stop sharing the slides. Thank you, Mr. Lu and Kin Guan, for sharing.
You're welcome.
Thank you for I think to tax agent, to them it's like, during daytime they are always paper and looking at all the papers, and now what they are doing on the papers, now they just bring up to share in words for everyone that's online, and even after that, okay. And then sometimes I think the how do I put it, sometimes the issue arises when sometimes, client A asks this question or we spot the same issue. And then client B has the same issue. And then client C. And then it's always a replay scenario. Do you all feel that? To repeat, you can do this, you need to do this. Is it the same scenario for both of you? Do you all repeat sharing the client, say this one, you can do this, do that? Do you all face that kind of problem for your client on hands?
You mean asking the same question?
Yeah.
From different clients.
Correct.
I think this is quite common.
Sorry?
This is very common. This is
very common, right? Yeah. So I think they always face not with both tax partner and manager always face the same problem. People ask the same question and again we explain. So this is something that they've been explained so many times. So even if why I mention is because sometimes when you see on screen right just now, it's like, oh, all the wording a bit small and blur, right? You know why? Because all of this is extracted from the PDF. Because they have their own Bible, text Bible, okay, they have their own stuff to go through. So all these are extracted. But if you would like a clear version, in any case you will need that, please do also let us know, okay? We will give you a clear version so you can read through, okay? So I have a few questions, some surprise questions that I'm not sure whether online anybody have any questions, but if you do, you can raise, okay? Let's see from my side. Because we place in different, we have two Facebook group. We have one which is in Mandarin and English. Okay, so because tonight's session is English, so that's our main place. So we realize that the questions or the comments is not gathered in one place, but it's fine. So if you have, please do raise your questions. But I have some questions to ask. Like for now, right, because we have this COVID situation. So for the test for COVID, is it deductible under tax?
Under the company, there is, but under the current budget of 2022, so we are actually able to claim under our personal relief. So
it's just personal relief?
Yes.
So if the company, let's say if the company buy the test kit for, let's say if they buy, because I know that the government, there's a program where the government so-called, you must apply and then they'll give you a set of test kit. We actually asked about that. Then we realized that, if not wrong, the last time we checked, they only give you one set of test kit per staff, okay, per time. Then after that, what happened was, so we're thinking, hey, if the company buy on their own, can the company deduct tax for the purchase of the test kit? Is it
Okay,
is it mentioned in?
Yeah.
Is it mentioned for that?
Yeah. Yeah. Recently, there is a PO order, okay, has been gazetted. So this PO order is target for the COVID tests or COVID tests that incurred by the company or the staff lah. So basically, the company can claim double deduction for the tests, okay, the COVID test they incurred for the staff.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so the supporting
double
document here needed is it's a double deduction.
Okay, so there is one for COVID test. Okay, so this is relatable, although we are in phase 4, but there are still a lot of cases, and I'm sure that most companies or maybe a lot of companies, they will do consider. So if your company is one of them that you actually do purchase test kit, please check with your tax agent and make sure that you actually can claim your double deduction for this. Okay, please take note, write it down. Okay. The other question that I was just thinking about, okay, can either one, I'm not sure whether Mr. Lu or Ken Guan could share, because there's something that we've always hear. This is not under the tax budget, but something that's quite frequently asked. Okay, people asking, calling in and ask. It's about withholding tax. Can you briefly, just very briefly share about this and then what to take note so that those who are here right now, maybe you can pick it up a little. Withholding tax. Anyone?
Withholding tax.
Yeah. Just maybe you can just
Usually, you want
briefly
to try it.
explain what is this, and then what kind of scenario you need to take note. Yeah.
Withholding tax is actually a indirect tax. It's like our sales tax or stamp duty or capital gain tax. So withholding tax is country to country. So between the country to country, let's say Malaysia to Singapore, so we have a bilateral agreement. So by having this bilateral agreement, so we have a fixed rate for certain
They
category
can
of
apply at a lower rate, no? Basically, they apply at a lower rate, no?
Okay. So what kind of situation will actually engage withholding tax?
Yeah,
What kind of
the situation. Not really situation. Is the nature of payment? Is it? So the nature of
what kind of
payment that
nature
you
of payment?
subject to withholding tax, basically is the technical fee. Technical fee here includes the consultation. What else? The professional fee that you carry out in Malaysia, or in Malaysia. That is for service alone. Okay, if your service performed in Malaysia, at the moment it will subject to withholding tax. Unless you perform in overseas, then at the moment the withholding tax is exempted. There is another category of payment which is subject to withholding tax also. There's many more actually, but I mentioned a few common one. So just I mentioned professional fee, technical fee, right? So now the next one, it will be royalty. So the royalty, nowadays people pay a lot to Facebook lah, what else? Google things. So all these, because they are using their platform, usually it's for advertise the product lah, especially Facebook. So if you are using their platform for your business adventure, then it will subject to as a royalty and subject to withholding tax. All right. The other category is like a rental of the movable properties. Usually is car. So if you rent a movable property from the non-resident, then that will also subject to withholding tax. All right. Then the last one, it will be interest. Interest, compared to the category that I mentioned just now, the withholding tax is usually is higher. By default, right, it is 15%. Those that I mentioned just now, like technical fee, royalties, mostly are applied at 10%.
Okay.
For the bilateral agreement, country to country, so the rate might be vary from country to country. So maybe for withholding tax for technical fee between Malaysia and Singapore is 15%, but it could be 15% between Malaysia and Japan. So all this is we still have to refer back to the bilateral agreement within the country, right?
Yeah. So this is something additional that everyone online, okay, you need to check with your tax agent whether it's your company or whatever that is company, whatever engagement, is it subject to withholding tax? Yep. And I have one last question. I think this question, chill, Mr. Lu, don't get so stressed.
Okay.
Yeah. Now Mr. Lu very stressful because I ask question without letting them know that I'll ask questions. Okay, so I have a question right now. Because you see, basically we are the economy is opening up. Yeah, like 2 days ago, Singapore, you can actually fly into Malaysia, but through KL. So there's actually things are opening up. So this question I think is very interesting. Because things are opening up, and then I think both of you are very near to Genting Highland. And then I saw online that Genting Highland, actually, they revamp, they change a lot of stuff. So if you are the senior generation, or maybe not the always older, maybe my age and above, Genting Highland has changed. It's not like last time anymore. Okay, so this is Genting Highland. So because Genting Highlight is opening up and then everybody's going there for holidays, they cannot travel. Now we cannot really travel freely to other countries, but so some people will choose to go Genting. Okay. So my question is there something called a gambling tax? Okay. And then is it subject, do I need to pay if let's say, you won some money, I won't say a lot of money, some money over there. What are the rules for this? Yeah. People over their face, they're so stressed.
Gambling tax normally will be absorbed by the casino. For any winnings from Genting, okay, it will consider as a legal source of income. So but a lot of people claim that the casino is the laundry machine. So, but in this respect, Genting actually they have their own way of verifications. So they'll keep track of how much is you exchange your chips. Let's say you exchange the chip with 100,000. So they will actually monitor the trail, and they need to build up the proof in the event that income tax or maybe the Bank Negara is actually having an investigation. So the casino is not allowed to assisting customers to actually do laundry or some sort like clean up the money. So so they have their own way of tackling this issue.
Yeah. So anything to add on from Kin Guan?
I guess you are more concerned on whether will the Genting pass this tax to the consumer, is it?
Can you look it from that way?
I'm not really sure they are tax lah, because I also seldom gamble. Then, but as I know, if let's say compared to Toto or Daimachai, they have this. Is it called entertainment tax?
Yes. Sinful tax, so called.
Yeah. So is Genting also have such a tax to the consumer?
Yes. It won't tax on the consumer, but it will be absorbed under the casino as part of their.
Because usually the chip amount is fixed already, right?
Yeah.
So I change the chip 100, I pay 100, but I'm using the 100 for the gamble.
But one issue I would like to highlight. So if you are a frequent gambler, so it could fall under Bachelor of Trade, means you are full-time a gambler. So for those winning, it's not for leisure purpose anymore. So it can be taxed under normal as a business income. Right.
Correct.
Same as for the share market, means if you are a frequent punter in and out daily, so it could be it could be being tracked under Bachelor of Trade. So in terms of tax audit under personal tax.
So basically means that they'll venture into this profession. Then the income that they derive from this profession, it will become their business income. But like we as a normal person, we just go up there once occasionally to gamble. That will become a windfall gain. So to us, it will become a tax-free.
Yeah. I think frequent gambler is a bit sensitive, but heavy investor. They are heavy investor in this field. Yeah. So I see all of you online still. Okay. Today we are almost reaching our time to end today. But before we do that, we thank you all for joining us. And one thing is very important, because we are going to a season. It's November, December now. So I think most of us, we will somehow, most, I would say all are somehow would like to go travel. So a reminder, if you're going travel, okay, please remember we shared this last week. that if you are going to some place to travel, you want to claim, let's say you're going to stay at this place, this accommodation, you need to claim, you need to check. Okay, you need to check whether is this place under the list of places that you can claim. Okay, if you are not sure what I'm talking about, that's because you never joined last week. So better look back at the video and make sure. Okay, so thank you everyone for today that you have joined our session for corporate tax. Okay, we did a very brief session. Okay, and next week we would have a session during the daytime on the 18th. Okay, 10 a.m. So we will have a session in Mandarin that would be more than an hour, 2 hours plus. Okay, but if you're interested to join us, because for that session we will have a panelist of tax and audit. Okay, we have a panelist to come and assist you, so you get to ask some personal questions if you want to. Okay, so if you're interested, please do join us next week on the 18th. You can check out our Facebook to know more details. So any last reminders from both of the speakers for today? Any last reminders?
Last reminder, stay safe.
Anything that's very important that you must remind everyone, you better take note of this deadline, or this deadline is very near. Any reminder?
Deadline. Not really. Do you have any idea? Do you have any?
Basically, just want to tell everyone that although all those proposals, right, has been announced in budget 2022, but yet we are still waiting for the gazetted order to make it legal. So basically, if there is no gazetted order published, those proposals by right taxpayers still cannot claim. All right, by right, like, shouldn't claim.
Yep, that's a very good reminder. Okay, so stay tuned for the important notice whether when it's gazetted. So once again, thank you all online for joining us in this rainy weather over here in JB. So thank you, and we will see you the next time. Take care, and thank you both. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks all.
您的企业有好的规划吗？ESQ Consulting Group 拥有超过38年的专业团队，无论在商家企业的创造、成长，乃至进入腾飞级、沉稳发展的每一个阶段，都带着共同一致的前瞻性理念及专业所长，致力于提供以客为本的专业企业咨询服务，以站式服务为客户带来便利，在充满挑战以及要求快速达标的环境中，提高服务性价比成效。客户是最终受益者，享受多元综合的一站式咨询服务。ESQ Consulting Group 协助超过1000家工厂在马来西亚设立，是 Alineo Global 的成员之一。Alineo Global 目前是世界第2大的会计联盟，在86个国家或地区设立了超过600个会计事务所，能为客户提供不同国家或地区的投资咨询和市场知识，协助投资者扩展业务。而今，随着 Ecovis 的加入， ESQ Consulting Group 也能在企业上市的筹划上提供优质的咨询服务。我们15位股东与董事，加上230位职员，期待为您的企业尽一份力。